you don't rise to the level of your goals, you rise to the level that your nervous system can hold. Let's say the capacity. And in this video, I'm going to talk about Uranus that moved since last weekend from Taurus after 7 years into the next 7 years in Gemini. Normally, and I focus really on patterns and I really call out on that, but sometimes, I really want to talk about what is happening in astrology. I'm looking at tropical astrology in relationship to sidereal, but in this video, I'm going to deep dive more from a tropical point of view. Although I believe more and more when you step in your embodiment on a level of sovereignty, the more and more you will see that sidereal will resonate, because I believe that the sidereal astrology is mostly connected to our soul essence, because the more and more we walk in sovereignty, the more and more we are aligned to our soul essence. But again, that is a side note. I really want to, because I'm fascinating and also interested by because tropical is so focused on the personality mind, like I call it more like the ego construct, and that is what is really as a construct manifesting in this 3D reality. Let's face it, that is really what it is, but I really wanted to add that. So the next 7 years, they will increase, you will feel like an increase on your mind, your voice, and your ability to stay regulated, because Uranus has moved in Gemini, and this will change, how you think, how you communicate and operate under pressure, as I said. And because Gemini is not only, and especially in Uranus, it's really ruling the nervous system and our minds, and if those two are not coherent, it is a mess. It's like a totally mess. So talking about a flashback of the last 7 years, Uranus really teached us in Taurus, it really teaches us to, really come back to the body. And Uranus in Taurus disrupted your sense of stability. I mean, I have been through that a lot and deep on so many levels regarding my own personality, and that I needed to realign to my true essence and who I am here today. So, it disrupted your sense of stability, your money, the safety you feel in your body, the structure in your life, and this forced your nervous system to adapt into uncertainty. You were learning how to feel safe without control and more surrender, but not in a too passive way, but how to stay grounded, even there are no guarantees, but you came back really to the body. And you probably felt like a pressure, like a slowing down, heaviness, and a physical pressure. And I have to say, I think like many broke under this, or was like, or completely breakdown, or they were reminded to rebuild their inner capacity and come back into alignment. And I have to say, now the pressure is changing from, a Gemini brings really speed, information, communication. So instead of slowly heavy pressure on the body, you get fast, constant, like mental pressure. And it can look like too much pressure, too much decisions, too much to process, and all at once. And I have to say, here's the truth, that your nervous system doesn't fall under pressure. It reveals what it can't and cannot hold. So the capacity you literally hold, like I call it the capacity bank account. And so if you haven't built capacity, this era in Gemini, it will absolutely overwhelm you, because to me, yes, regulation is key to understand what is your window of tolerance of your body and the capacity you hold. But it is really to understand, you know, that window of tolerance and having that capacity. How do I deal with when I am in a freeze system? How do I deal with when I am, you know, like in the freeze state and feeling stuck, you know, in that pattern? And because it's not like, oh, you build more capacity and I'm like a perfect, I live like in a perfect world of unicorns and etc. and I am regulated all the time. No, that is not how it works. Because, and especially when I talk to women and their cycles, their monthly cycles, you have moments regarding your hormones that it's just like, you feel like that, you know, it feels like that or die, and that is what it is. And you know, that will not say, oh, you don't hold the right capacity and etc. What it says is like, okay, how can I honor myself through the whole process regarding my cycle, regarding the relationships I hold, the business I hold, or the work I hold, or whatever I hold in life. How can I how am I connected to myself in that? And you know, what is my window of tolerance? I talk a lot about that. So coming back to Gemini in Uranus and how that connects to our nervous system, you know, your nervous system, as I said, it will reveal what it cannot hold in this next 7 years. And you know, this era will absolutely feel, for many, I'm sure, feel overwhelming, because most of people are trying to avoid pressure in life, and pressure is what I see, and also in my sessions, it really expands one, and to remember, okay, these are the levels of my own capacity and my window of tolerance. So the problem is not pressure itself you feel, it is unregulated pressure that you know, it's again, I really want to be clear about, it's not always to be that perfect example. I need to be regulated all the time. It's really to find what works for you, and each body is different. So talking about pressure, you know, when your system can hold, you know, like freeze, it cannot hold, you know, when it cannot hold, and it's not holding, I need to hold, freeze, and etc. It's when it cannot hold the right capacity, and you understand your nervous system through your monthly cycle, you will get thrown into freeze, overthinking, procrastinating, you're going to shut down, you're going to, the list goes on with symptoms. But when your nervous system is trained, pressure becomes, you can turn that around into power. So what the beautiful thing is, then you can think really clearly while things are moving fast, and you can speak with precision under demand and make decisions without spiraling. And this is the difference between reacting and leading. So let's talk about the future of communication, because looking now with Gemini and Uranus, it's this Uranus is disruption. So communication is about, what I see is about going to accelerate beyond your natural phase. You know, we are already seeing in the world with AI, short form content, constant bombarding of information, but soon the pressure to the thing is, if you don't hold and understand your nervous system pattern and your window of tolerance and your how do I say that, like a blueprint of your nervous system, you feel the pressure to respond quickly, you know, like like I need to process more, I need to stay relevant, and it's like seeing all the shiny things out there, and you feel you need to act on that. And that can be, oh my gosh, I see like the next 7 years, it can be like an invitation to so much burnouts and so much dysregulation, like really ramping up right now, like with the speed of light. And that's why I truly believe this work is so important, that I choose to work with women and bring them back into their grounded alignment, and that they understand their level of the window of tolerance and their nervous system blueprint, and how they can realign back to their inner core, their axis. That's why I created the axis method. That is for a later part of this video, but it's really coming back to that inner sovereignty, that inner leadership, and trusting oneself. Because the thing is, our minds are so connected to our nervous system, and when we don't have a understanding of that blueprint of our nervous system, and we are just like all over the place, and like our outer world is dictating our inner world, instead of our inner world is reflecting into the outer world, and you don't hold that level of power and sovereignty in alignment to I call it the God essence, your blueprint, your source code, it's a mess. And that's why there's so many burnouts, there's so many I don't know what I need to do in life, I don't, you know, like being lost basically. So what I see is that pressure, it will increase so much. And you know, when your nervous system is, because of that, is overloaded, you know, you lose clarity and you lose discernment. You add to the noise out there instead of leading from your core essence. So the real skill isn't about how, you know, like Gemini, like how can I communicate better? It's the alignment between your mind and your body when you are more and more under that pressure on you know, in Uranus and Gemini. And you know, talking about business under pressure, business will reward those who can hold more. And it's not about moving faster in a pressured and like a forced masculinity way, but it is about clear decisions, and you can move faster. You can expose yourself even more, but really with clarity, because people will feel when it's unclear. So again, as I said, it's not about doing more, it's about holding more without collapsing. And because pressure will be a constant need for, I need to perform, I need to, you know, like I need to stay steady, I need to think clearly, I need to move without hesitation. And that is what you want. And that is why nervous system work is so important. And it's not about, it's like another spiritual trend. It is really about what I see more and more after years, when you did years of spiritual personal development, inner work. You know, there comes a point that you really realize, yeah, okay, I know everything about myself, all the patterns and all the inner work I did, and now what? You know, all the astrology charts, readings, whatever, and how the F do I need to embody that? And that's why nervous system work is key, because it is your midpoint to have access to that and to materialize that in the world. So I talked a little bit about business, but talking about relationships, and when you feel that pressure, like I believe that that pressure will show up in relationships too, like faster communication, like probably you have you feel like, okay, I have less patience right now. There will be more and quicker misalignment spotted and exposed. And if you are dysregulated, pressure creates conflict, basically. So if you are regulated, pressure creates clarity. And you want to be in that alignment of your essence. So you either react faster, or you want to respond better. So the real question is, can your system hold that incoming pressure without shutting down and going in a freeze, or too much into the forcing, and you go out of the alignment and where you lose that level of clarity? Because the next 7 years will not slow down for you, for no one. So you need to increase and understand the blueprint of your nervous system and what the capacity is that you hold at this moment, and what are the tools that I can stretch it and expand it and come back when I see, oh, I'm getting more in a dysregulated state, and how can I work with that? That is the work I'm doing with women. So it is not really soft work. It is really precision training for your nervous system, and to improve also the neuroplasticity. It all works together so that you hold the grip on your reality and you're not getting lived by the outside, but from the inside. And that is true leadership. So again, what I see for the next coming years will be communication, and everything will be changed to its deepest level, to its deepest core of, I truly believe, like how many communicated, it will change. Maybe even telepathic communication, being telepathic will come more online. Like new platforms of communication. I'm getting so much in right now, so much visions, but it all comes back to the core essence, is your 0 point in connecting to the clarity of source and your God essence. And that is understanding your nervous system blueprint and having the right tools for that. And that's exactly, if you want to build a system that can hold this level of that incoming pressure of Uranus, regarding your business, regarding in your relationships, regarding whatever you're going through in life. I created a free mini access method, mini course that you can find in my bio, and that it's under an hour, and where you can really take the first steps of, doing that inner scan and understanding, this is my level of capacity that I hold, and this is the level of, that I come more and more and regulate out of the level of stuckness. I loved really to do that, and it's for free. I hold, and I will develop, and probably at this moment when you see it regarding specific problems, also paid mini programs. I do one-on-one sessions. I do deep level. What is really my passion is the container work in 3 months and 6 months. And I hope this video helps you, to give you more information and a connection between Uranus and nervous system work. And I send you all my love, and I wish you in the upcoming 7 years, or wherever this video will find you, you got this. But remember, your alignment and understanding your nervous system blueprint is everything. Bye.